Immediately, they wanted that pick. It's weird because I was expecting potentially something like Rise just to get more roots and get more team fights starting. They think they have enough of it with Leona and the Maokai. There is a lot of strong disengage coming out from CLG EU. With all of that, though, this is a much stronger initiating team that WE has had in the games where they couldn't start fights. And a composition, even though we haven't seen exactly with CLG against WE for CLG EU, it's something that they're all very comfortable with once again.
And they can all dive at the same time. They've got dive buddies, that's the main thing. Leona could go in, Maokai could follow, Olaf Axis, he could be running in there with Ragnarok. Going, Vladimir ultimate cross.
Onto a Nunu and onto a Karthus, so if they fully dive in, they would have enough to kind of repel WE back, which does favor them. It's all a matter of will WE pull ahead early, and how well is Clearlove going to support with that Maokai. When he's been on the carry junglers like Nocturne, it hasn't been that successful because everything on WE revolves around Chow Mei, Messiah, and Wei Zhao, because it's really just all three of those getting farmed, and then FCZF and Clearlove support them. That 3 carry 2 support setup for them works very, very well.
Sorry, my eyes widened there. I thought I'd spotted no smite, but then I suddenly found it. But there's no teleport, interestingly, from this game. We are seeing a cleanse, of course, on Kog'Maw. Kind of expected. It's one of those champions. Hasn't really got a great escape, so it's going to get in there. But we are, ladies and gentlemen, finally into the game. Will it ever end?
Here it comes.
We will certainly find out. It is going to be CLG EU. They are going to be playing as the blue side and Team WE as the red side.
And here we have both teams just running out. There was the one clash we saw in there. I'm almost going to call it an epic 5-game set that we had over at LA Live. There was just the one time they actually fought at level 1. They've now had 3 days to prepare. Do they come out with anything special here at very early stages of this game? There's a defensive formation coming from WE. They put the Maokai saplings off. That did pop. They have the early ward up there. Both of them have the spot. So WE with the pings down, they've seen what CLG EU is doing, but since there were only 2 members there, they're not thinking that they're going to be too aggressive. So a lot of just back and forth, not much. Krepa warding over that wall, so they have double wards coming out early. Really just defensive play from both teams. Maybe late invade here by WE.
Yeah, Snoop is just getting forced backwards. But we do see Krepa putting that ward over. And then if anyone's watched the video with Scarra, that was the reverse position of where he failed 3 times to try and put that one down. Perhaps not remind him of that one later on.
And there's actually a compilation put together by a fan of that epic 58-minute game. 80 wards were killed by CLG EU when the fans were going crazy. So will WE ward that heavily, and will they try to take wards away from FCZF? Because for the most part, come mid to late game, everything will be warded by Leona. He doesn't necessarily build items. He'll go double GP10. He'll never really get an Aegis. He never really gets a Zeeks. He just wards for everyone else and allows other people to complete items. That's their style. That's very much different than CLG EU, who's now walking over ward, invading the blue buff at about 1 minute 50 seconds. They're trying to stop Olaf from taking that level 1 blue that he took over the weekend. Will WE try to harass this?
Well, Messiah's well aware that they are in that position. He knows that the blue buff. Here comes Cao Mei with that axe straight across. They're going to try and force them back. There's going to be a 2-man invade. There's also an invade in the top side, so Wicked's having problems up there. He's going to try and steal it away, trying to prevent them from doing it. It'll be an epic steal if he gets it. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the other side. The blue buff has been picked up by Snoopy, so he's managed to get in and smite it, as well as Clearlove. So both junglers doing a successful invade there, and with the help of their teams. And we also see, and of course, the lane swap straight away, Jack.
And they're really just mirroring each other because both Snoopy and Clearlove just went right back into their rates through the ward, so everyone knows where everyone else is and no one's actually gained an advantage yet. The 2-1 lane swap is exactly what they planned last time. Chow Mei had that solo 1v2 lane. He did an extremely good job laning up against it. Wicked is also an amazingly good 1v2 laner, but this could just be WE trying to get things happening. The Leona lane is much more aggressive than the Nunu Cog, and they could potentially get more pressure early with this swap.
So Wicked's going to have his work cut out. Let's have a look at this mid lane now. Froggen versus Messiah, very much even throughout all the games in terms of farm.
And what happened the last time these guys did this matchup, it was Froggen getting a very early lead early, and then Messiah actually overtook him. Messiah seems to be a slightly better farmer than Froggen. Hate to say it for the Froggen fans, because in these games, he has been out farming, and up top lane, there is a lot of harass going down into Wicked. He's going to have to burn through all of those health pots almost immediately. If there's going to be a lane that creates action right away, it's going to be that top lane with a Maokai dive, or maybe just a straight-up tower push, because that seems to be what WE is keying off of early.
Yeah, just 6 and 5 CS in those very, very difficult 2v1 lanes. We are well aware how hard they are, but you can see Olaf still got those 2 health pots. Meanwhile, Jace and Wicked has already burnt through a lot of them. So they're going to push the tower, but the problem is Wicked's had no damage done to his tower at the moment. If we can look down the bottom tower, I'm pretty sure we can see Yellow Pete is starting to burn it down. He's going to have a lot more damage going down onto that turret. As soon as he can put it down there, you can see Cao Mei. Cao Mei's trying to cause as many problems as he can. Would you believe it? We have a pause already. Well, and we're in the dark, as requested.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't like the lights on us during the game.
We didn't like the lights on us during the game, and now we're in the dark. And you can still see, though, you know, it proves we are live. The construction going on behind us. These things happen. And as the moment the pause comes in, I can only imagine the players have asked for something in there. But, Jan, I mean, how do you assess the situation straight away?
Very early on, it's actually just a bunch of trading back and forth. They're just splitting up objectives. We saw the blue steals, and then both the junglers really just finishing off. There's the lights. And I still think Wicked's in trouble. He burned through all those health pots. I think Cao Mei is going to be able to keep his tower successfully saved. The axe spam, the undertow with him being pushed up against his tower, clears the way very quickly. I don't think the Nunu Cog can get very aggressive on him until maybe level 7 or 8. And that's just a matter of them. And we're actually back into the game. The pause is done. That was a quick, just small audio issue that they've solved already. Not the 2-hour delay we had earlier. And here we are back into the game. Let's see what happens.
It's just a team comms issue, so we are back live once again. As you can see, straight back into the game. 4 minutes gone. And really, the difference being Team WE slightly farming better. Snoopy is going to come up, but he's going to walk straight across that ward. He's going to get spotted. In fact, I think he's already probably been told by Wicked, don't bother. There is a ward there, so we're going to keep a close eye on the farm between these lanes, because Wei Zhao has been farming out quite successfully more than Wicked, and you can see he's already got that 7 CS difference.
And going down, everyone on WE, in the games they won, and even some of the games they lost, they were out farming CLG EU early, and they have to win the early game, because when they don't, we know CLG is going to be able to just hold the fight off, and here could be that 3-man gank that we thought might come early. This could be action. Wicked, low health, does have flash and heal, so they have to get an ignite down on him early if they're going to try to do this dive. But they could very well, the creeps are not quite lining up. This is going to be a monstrous wave when it does hit the tower, and Wicked doesn't really see this coming. Clearlove trying to throw down some scouts, making sure that CLG doesn't know this coming, and they don't. They're slowly pushing this wave into the tower. Wicked going to be in a lot of trouble. They're going to try to start this off with the Leona dive. She's going to get her armor aura up, try to take the first hit. If they do that right, they're going to get a kill.
So here they go. Leona comes around. Clearlove shows himself. They're going to twist it in advance. He's going to drop without any choice whatsoever. He's still not gone down. Finally, he does go down there. And you can see FCZF taking a lot of damage, but it certainly was not enough. And a very, very successful gank from Team WE.
So well executed. The Leona, they got the ignite down. They made it so his heal didn't matter. CLG was not on the case. First blood, and they're going to get some tower damage out of this. Also, Snoopy's map presence is gone, so they know exactly where he is. They do not have to worry about ganks. That's a very strong early move, and they might try to dive Snoopy too. Same tactic.
Soon the exact same thing, and Snoopy's surely going to go down. He's going to try and catch up to FCZF, and he flashes out of the tower damage. Beautifully executed by Team WE. No! It's going to be Froggen with the ultimate. He will pick up that kill off the back of that one, but it does mean he's burnt that ultimate, but it's a saving grace there. It also gives the assist, of course, to Snoopy.
Really clutch, hitting 6 barely at the right time before he could pop off that Requiem, and that is something WE didn't quite account for. They would have been able to trade Tower Egg or slightly better if they'd realized he'd hit level 6. That's a potential miscommunication, but that's still a good thing for them. Getting the kill onto Snoopy will... Actually, that didn't set him back much. It allowed him to complete that Philosopher's Stone. That was a good thing for CLG, actually, that they traded that kill with the Snoopy dive.
Yeah, they had to get that final kill, and like you say, it does give Snoopy a little bit of Philosopher's Stone. Meanwhile, the two ADs, very much even in gold, but of course that 1-0-1 gives Wei Zhao a huge advantage. He's already gone back to base. You can see 2,200 gold to 1,750. Big difference, and he's already picked up the phase there off the back of that one, as well as the Dawn's Blade.
This is going to be a very painful lane for Wicked. They're going to have to provide him a lot of support. You can see Snoopy already on the left side of his jungle. They need to be aware of what could happen to him here. They have the ward up in the top river. They could continue to dive here with Clearlove, and they're putting deep wards and trying to catch off Snoopy. They do see him in the jungle, so they might know it's coming. Wicked, much caution here. They're going for another blue steal.
Yeah, the blue steal perfectly timed by Team W. Remember, they picked it up on the first time, and their blue, however, because Snoopy is in that jungle, is very much safe. You see Olaf is backed away there. Snoopy's going to get caught out. Twisted advance. That's going to be the Vladimir ultimate. Snoopy will drop off the back of this one. He's just about surviving. Finally, you see the ultimate proccing off there from Messiah. He gets the kill, and they are going to back away from this one. Completely safe. There is no Karthus ultimate available, of course, because he just used it, and now Team WE in a very strong position in this just one-game playoff.
They've really came out strong, and if it's about starting fights, they've done it with tower dives and with invading the blue, and they might just go for Wicked once again here. He does hit the level 6, so he does have a lot of help, but there's no one here to help him. If they can get the wave to the tower, which is Wicked is trying his best to make sure they don't, spamming the wave back, he would be dead. They're going to camp this and wait until they get in on here. Wicked might see this coming, and there we have a dive onto top lane, killing it, Chow Mei.
Chow Mei's going to go down the back of this one. He will do, yes he will. That's going to be though clear love. You can see Wicked in all kinds of danger at this top lane. Here's the minion wave. They're going to come round. There's the Leona stun. He knew it was coming, but he's going to get dropped again. He's trying to take FCZF. One more tower here. He will get it. That was a great turnaround. They are going to lose the bottom tower from the top tower on the back of that, but 8 minutes 30, that was a good save there from Wicked.
He really needed that. The fact that they committed 3 people there and only got the kill trade, as well as giving up the dragon. 3 members top CLG EU counters with 3 members bottom. They didn't even need a jungler gank to kill Chow Mei, so that was actually Wicked essentially outplaying his lane opponent, even though they are in completely different places, and granting his team this dragon, which might put them right back close on the goal pole.
Yeah, very tight game here, very tense between the two teams. That's going to be the goal total. Just going to be catching 11.7 to 12.42. Still slight advantages to Team WE. Definitely in a stronger position. The blue buff, of course, still not been picked up by Team WE or CLG EU. I wasn't sure whether we're going to maybe engage off the back of that, but we are seeing the AD and the support now heading south. There's the blue buff. Team WE going to secure this one.
This is something WE has kind of been known for. Now that they've taken the top turret, they'll go immediately and try to take the bottom one. They're trying to get the global gold advantages, and CLG EU getting that dragon actually hurts this quite a bit. You can see they're going down and checking it. They were planning on taking it right then. Sorry, guys, it's gone. Now it's on for them to push this next tower. They might even try some 4 or 5 man dives here just to make sure to get the towers down. Wicked is all by himself. He's been shut down a fair bit in that lane. He's trying to catch his farm back up. This is a window WE needs to take advantage to, because they have to fast push these towers down. Otherwise, Wicked's going to free farm and catch back up.
Yeah, Wicked already 10 CS against his counterpart, Olaf. Of course, meanwhile down that bottom lane, ZZF and Wei Zhao pushing onto the lane. Yellow Pete is fell 10 CS behind. That's not the end of the world, though, as a Cogmore versus a Corki.
That's really right on pace. With the Nunu Blood Boil, he's actually doing much more damage than Wei Zhao. Snoopy with the Oracles already, only with the Philosopher's Stone, so he's got to be very careful with that, clearing out the wards, trying to make it unsafe for WE to do that fast pushing. This is actually somewhat of a tricky situation. We did see some very good early plays by WE, but the counters by CLG have kept them in this, and now WE might be a little bit lost. Can they push the towers without vision? Right now, they might not want to take that risk.
So fast Willie the Ancients looks like he's being pushed out by Messiah. And Messiah again still out farming Froggen in that mid lane. Has just gone back to bite, and he can still see got that 5 CS advantage and the kill advantage, of course. That's a lie, it's not a kill advantage. He used his ulti, did he? Dirty tactic. You can use a skill that's picking off them kills from anywhere on the map. But you can just see he's farming up massively. 3,600 gold, pretty much even between the two, so not too bad, just a 100 gold difference. And really the difference seems to be that top lane. But as it stands at the moment, we are seeing Wicked in the top. He's covering off the fact that Froggen's gone back. Clear Love is with the double buff. He's picked up the Oracle as well, I believe. I just caught a glimpse of there as we pan past. Really, the advantage stands still with Team WE.
And that's actually a safe Oracles for Clear Love, because he picked up the Heart of Gold and Philosopher's Stone before he completed it. So even if he loses it, he will have some golden farm when the game gets going. With this, though, you can see they have a lot of GP10 items double on Olaf, so Chow Mei, if they just keep farming off, he's going to get a little stronger than Wicked because of all that gold generation he's creating. And they've just kind of went into a shoving top lane, free farm back and forth, bottom lane Snoopy is just camping, waiting for wards, and they are a little bit stalled out here. WE wanted to take the dragon and then snowball that into more towers, but because CLG took that dragon, WE is a little bit lost. Their mid-game plan is off. They now have Oracle spotting out. They're going to do a dive behind, but the good deep warding by CLG is repelling their attack slightly, and really it's a matter of Froggen having to play very, very safe and all these invades are getting just pushed aside a bit by WE because they haven't been able to create much action aside from those early tower dives.
Of course, we know they have to try and prevent that storm, and they're diving on towards Yellow Pete. Yellow Pete's going to go down to the bottom lane. Has not got an ignite on him though, so he's going to turn safe from this one. No! It's going to be FCZF, turns it back around. Very nice play. The Garth's ultimate will pick up the kill though. And that is going to be Wei Zhao just about escaping as well. And honestly, I thought he got away with it, but really nice play from FCZF.
Really aggressive, and it caught them out. Now they're going for a blue steal, but there are two members here. WE is not going to be able to get this one.
Yeah, Wicked this time wants to get in there. Of course, the smite not available for Snoopy though, so they're going to have to fight for it. They do have Carthus coming around. He's the one who want to pick this up, so they don't want to take it away from him too heavily. Sao Mei at the top, just farming out freely, and there is Frog, and he's going to get that nice and easy.
But all of these wards that have been cleared up by Snoopy with the Oracles is just stopping WE from being full-on aggressive. They did have that 2v2 engagement that again got turned around by Froggen, so that's something they really have to keep track of when this goes on, as Froggen is actually getting pretty big off the back of this. He's getting out-minion killed by Messiah, but the fact that he's picked up 2 kills with his Requiem makes it really hard for WE to dive on. Their main strategy in teamfights is to go in with Leona, Maokai, and Olaf, and if they're walking through a hugely fed Karthus Defile, it's going to be trouble for them in the late-game teamfights.
We are seeing the 600 gold advantage being built up by Wei Zhao versus Yellow Pete, of course, just dying down that bottom. 2-0-2, Wei Zhao again. Very, very strong throughout this entire tournament. Has been fantastic. And honestly, gold slightly in Froggen's favour, actually, because he's picked up those 2 kills and is being slightly out CS'd in that mid lane. Now, I mean, late team comps, how are we looking between these two? Obviously, we can see Team WE trying to push the pace a lot more this time. But CLG, they're going to want to stall the game out like they always do.
And there'll be a point here. Xiao Mei is going to be able to dive through everything, get on Yellow Pete, and try to kill him. The instant that Yellow Pete can solo Olaf is when CLG wins the game, because other than that, they won't have enough to touch onto Yellow Pete and clear him out. So it's a race against time for WE. And just stepping back a bit, with the way WE lanes in this game and all the others, it's very clear that they have some of the best individual players in the world, because CLG has them. As they might see a dive here, they really want to do something. Here they come!
They're diving on towards Yellow Pete down the bottom. That's going to be the ultimate for FCZF. He gets dropped in seconds there. Clearlove diving on towards him. Crepo's also in danger. FCZF going to try and pick this one up. Wei Zhao picks up the kill, and that was a double on that bottom lane. Very nice play from Team WE. They really are collapsing and pushing the pace on CLG.
That's the second tower. They found a way to create this. They've started their things, and it's up until 20 minutes they've been killer this entire tournament. After that point, they seem to get a little lost. They know that they have now taken down the second tower. Look for the mid to go down next. They're going to try to dive Froggen. They have very good coordination. FCZF is diving in fearlessly. The Dragon is up. Xiao Mei is up in the top lane trying to farm out, but Yellow Pete is as well, so this Dragon could have a lot of poke back and forth. WE doesn't realize Kog'Maw and Nuni aren't running back there, and we could see a bit of a Dragon concede or a poke back and forth here.
See Skarner on that Dragon point at the moment. Wicked down that bottom lane, farming off Freeney. Yellow Pete's trying to pick up some free farm. That bottom tower, they might just exchange the bottom tower, you know, for the Dragon. I'm going to try and keep my eye on Wicked. The pings have gone down on Wicked. Froggen also taking a bit of damage. Wicked's going to get closed in on down that bottom lane. You can see Wei Zhao going for it. Clearlove is there as well. The acceleration gauge used by Wicked. He's going to walk through a ward, which means Twisted Advance can get on him, but immediately knocks Clearlove back. He's going to try and turn the damage around. He's got Skarner coming in now. Snoopy is there. Snoopy's hooked in. There's going to be ultimate from Froggen coming out. Wei Zhao's the target. If they can take Wicked, that has shut him down very nicely. He had a 3-0-2 on the back of that one. So that has really picked up the gold nicely for CLG, and that's definitely put them back in the game.
The timing on these Froggen ults has been perfect. It's on such a long cooldown, 173 seconds right now, but every time they need it, it seems to be up. WE needs to create action in a much faster pace off the back of this one, because those ultimates keep turning it around and keeping CLG in the game, and now that they have the Oracles, 5-man Dragon, the timing of this is just so clutch for CLG EU, and WE, they are good at creating the action. It's just they have to do it faster, because with the turnarounds, they're putting themselves in a hole, and all the plays they've made have been equally countered by CLG EU, and it's only a 1,000 gold game now with the second Dragon of the game going to CLG.
So CLG pushing that bottom turret. They're going to try and get on it before Wei Zhao gets back down there. You can see they're desperately trying to push the pace, but unfortunately, the minion's not really with him. We're watching Froggen right now. He's going to have Clearlove coming around the side there. Has got that Oracle. He's got to be very careful. He's completely spotted there. Messiah and Sao Mei on that turret as well. Clearlove just waiting. They're going to try and force the minion wave here. Snoopy, luckily, might save his bacon yet. Snoopy's appearance there, I think, completely oblivious to the situation, definitely caused that going to back off.
Snoopy has a tendency to always be in the right place, though. They just realized Froggen was potentially vulnerable because they know that the other two outer turrets have been taken
They're
down.
going for FCZF.
The target is going to be the third one. And here's Snoopy. He's going to have to flash over the wall for the safety. But they have a sense of what's important right now. They know the middle turret needs to be defended. Otherwise, WE would be able to push out. And now with 4-man stacked down on this bottom lane and the turret already being at a third health, WE is not going to be able to hold down this one.
And they know exactly where FCZF as well. They teamed on top of him. Not stood on now they've just put a ward straight there. They know exactly where he is. And that is the first turret of the game for CLG EU. And the goal still very even between them. Just a 500 lead for Team WE. And actually, you know, after such a, I wouldn't say a disastrous lane phase, but they've definitely dragged themselves back into it. That play down the bottom from Wicked definitely baited them in nicely.
Everything's been about them turning around WE's aggression. All those tower dives which have been successful, there's been an equal number that got turned around by Froggen's Requiem. And even in the mid lane, the fact that they are outlaning everyone, it's been turned around by the Dragons. Olaf and Wicked are very dead even on minion kills. Vladimir versus Karthus, he's only got the 13 advantage. Wei Zhao, even though he has the 3 kills, just the 20 minion kills and the fact that Kog'Maw has the Blood Boil to buff him up from Nunu. All this is actually boding well for CLG right now. They're going to be fine keeping this pacing of the game because I think they have it late.
Okay, so we're talking late game. We're going to start talking team fights. The team compositions of these two, how would you put it in a flat-out 5v5? Wow, the damage coming out towards Messiah there. That was a death by Grasp used up, and Froggen was baiting it in. Flash is out of there. Clearlove coming in. He is still on the base turret, so he's going to be taking the damage. Absolutely zero on Clearlove. Clearlove goes down. Froggen drops as well. FCZF is going to drop on the back of this one. Messiah also going to be targeted. The Karthus also is going to come out. You can see now Snoopy coming from the side. Going straight for Messiah. Hooks onto Messiah. There comes Wicked from the bushes. Getting onto him, and that's going to be Crepo going down. Oh, sorry, Wicked going down as well. Wicked diving on them. Xiaomei gonna get back away from this one. Very, very tight fight. 3 for 3. Wicked thought he could maybe pick something off the back of that, but Xiaomei managing to survive, and Wei Zhao with a really clutch Valkyrie.
More action in that fight than we saw through the entire set of the WE CLG EU game at LA Live. WE is coming to fight, and CLG is all about trying to counteract that. Again, a fearless initiation by FCZF. You've seen he's died 4 times, but he's been part of 8 of 10 of their kills. Same for Clearlove. They are just pushing down, and now this mid tower is in trouble. Wicked does not potentially have the mana to save this, but he can repel them back with those auto attacks from his Brutalize. With that fight, just in general, again, the Requiem was up, and since he had the blue buff, it's coming back up very shortly again with that Deathfire Grasp. He's making sure he has it so that at the tail end of all these fights, it's turning things around. That has really been the key for them, is Froggen's ultimate.
So Froggen now won't have it for around about 60 to 70 seconds. Meanwhile, the damage from Wicked is going to build up. Whereas you can see a Warmox was built by Olaf in there. Going a lot more tanky this time around. Something we've seen Xiaomei doing quite a few times, I believe.
He'll go for a whole bunch of health. Last time was a Frozen Melt, and then he'll stack just base resistance items. He'll go Negatron Cloaks and Chain Vests. In this game, he's probably going to end up building one of each, and then just trying to dive straight through the Froggen and onto Yellow Pete. And if they can do that, they'll be successful in team fights. This is going to be very, very close. They have an Aegis of the Legion already completed there by Snoopy. Clearlove is yet to reach that, so they do have an aura advantage. CLG EU, that is, if the next team fight happens fairly shortly. Karthus is already back up again, so those windows are becoming non-existent for WE every time they're going to have to deal with that Requiem. Because of that, they should soon get a bit more magic resist. You see the Abyssal Scepter already coming out on Messiah, and they're going to try to finish off this mid tower here. They're going to get it.
Yeah, they've got it. They've realized they forced CLG down a long way that bottom lane. They shut them out in the jungle. Just kept the pressure on. So CLG now 3-1 down in turrets. Team WE definitely with the better lane phase, possibly the better mid game. As we are 21 minutes gone into this game, we will start approaching those end builds. CLG, well, we saw 55-minute games before. Are they going to continue pushing the pace on the mid lane tower? I think they will.
This is a good
Team
window
WE,
for them.
They are not ready for this one, and that is going to be a very quick turret. Olaf was being caught out on that top lane. Wei Zhao was down the bottom. CLG reacting very quickly.
And Wei Zhao has had problems with this in the very same series. He does, since he outfarms Yellow Pete so well, finishes off, gets those side lane turrets down, or not turrets, minions down, and here they're trying to chase him out. He's taking the right path though. Good just awareness by CLG EU. They're taking out the mid turret. With everything that's happened, the fact this is a 600 gold difference, really just goes to show how well CLG EU is staying in this game, because all those early kills, it really looked like WE might run away with this. Dragon's coming up in 10 seconds, though. They are grouped around it. They're ready to fight if CLG wants this. They're not letting CLG get to this Dragon, and they will clearly initiate off of it if CLG tries to stop. I think they're going to end up giving it to them, though.
Wage out, rejoining his team, so they are all there, stacked in. Surely CLG are not going to fall for this one.
They're trying to push mid and maybe take a turret. They're going to have to peel off this Dragon immediately, and from that, we could see a very good fight.
They should. They're going to pick up the Dragon, and they're going to go straight for it. And CLG didn't bathe them away. That's what they wanted. They wanted to force them in towards that inner turret, and I think they realized they were not 100% confident they could win that fight.
And this is how CLG EU wants to play. They don't want to take any risks. In the games they lost against WE, it was because they engaged on WE towers. It's because they took the fight to them. They're much more comfortable when the other team brings the fight to them and countering that. They are much more about counter initiation, about staying safe, than they are about creating their own plays. It is just their style. And this game especially, WE is taking it to them very strongly, and we're seeing a great clash of styles so far.
They are pushing the pace on that top lane. Now, Yellow Pete had gone down that bottom. He'd started clearing the wave, and now he's reacted. Now he's making his way up. They realized that they are in the jungle. They could have possibly gone for Baron. They could have turned things around. We're at 24 minutes gone. It's not out of the question. And they can see Yellow Pete in that mid lane now. He's farming up as much as humanly possible to try and catch up on Wei Zhao. Still a 40 CS difference between those two. 233 to 314. The big goal difference for Wei Zhao currently. They are just continuing pushing the pace, but again, blue buff stolen away. Team WE really taking it to CLG.
And they do leave the Baron a little bit exposed. Xiaomei actually getting a bit cut out. He's trying to run away. He might have to burn his ultimate. No, they do decide to go away. And this is going to be that Baron dance that we've seen so much of in the past. They're going to try to get a whole bunch of wards onto FCZF. You can actually see he's the only one on the team with wards, and this is how they play their mid game. He'll try to stack as many as possible. He could only get 3 in this instance, and everyone else is just worried about completing their items. Coming down the line, there's a BF sword now onto Yellow Pete. If he gets onto that Infinity Edge with the Nunu Blood Boil, that's going to be the point where CLG EU gets really scary in team fights. That point is approaching very quickly, and WE has to act fast.
Prepper warding up their Tribers. They're going to take the top turret here, CLG. Team
They're really just going to try to take this turret. They're out of minions, though, so they will have to back out. It looks like CLG is going to be here for the actual turret defense. They're trying to tank out the turret, but they just don't have the health or the armor right now to take it down. They do have the Aegis of the Legion on a clear lift, so they can match CLG EU with the auras. They also have an Abyssal Scepter on Messiah, which will help them. But here again, we see Wei Zhao coming through the bottom. That wave is super pushy. He's going to have to clear that out, and CLG EU now gets to come in around Baron, clear all of FCZF's wards out, and really create surprise for them. And will they actually, if that ward wasn't seen in Baron, they would have tried to take it. Even with that, they're going for it because they saw so many members of WE out. They saw Olaf as well.
Lilov has put that sapling in there, and they immediately react to it. CLG EU trying to sneak a Baron in there. Of course, there's not a massive crowd cheering behind them. As soon as something like that happens, the crowd generally goes wild. They don't have that situation, so maybe a slight advantage for anyone teams that tries to sneak it. We saw it a couple of times. Obviously, they had those 2 members. I think it was Team WE, wasn't it? They tried to 2-man the Baron a couple of times. And, you know, it's not so much they can hear it,
they can feel it.
They can see it in front of their eyes. The crowd are going mental, and they're like, what's happening here?
Now there's just more oracles coming out. FCZF, they know the ward's there. They might be pretending that they don't see it and hoping to bait CLG EU into a team fight. They need to start creating. It's going to be so hard in these team fights. They're going to be trying to dive onto Yellow Pete, but they're going to have to go through Karthus Defile. Froggen's going to try to die in the middle of things just to pump out damage while he's dead. And everything's going to be about trying to get onto Yellow Pete. But do they have enough dive? Leona, Maokai, and Olaf are all going to be flying in. Wei Zhao's going to be having to deal with Wicked, Froggen, Wicked, Froggen, Skarner, Nunu, all just trying to dive in on top of him. And they don't feel strong enough to actually force a fight around Baron, which is going to be really, really dangerous for WE because they know CLG EU scales up amazingly.
Sneaky play there from Wei Zhao. All the rest of the team were positioned, and he just snuck straight round, took that red. Very cheeky. To get in there, 10-8, 27 minutes. Yes, you know, I can see them. They're trying to bait them in here. Team WE want to fight this. Clearlove was around there. I wasn't sure whether they were going to just pile straight up there. Again, nobody has a Shurelias yet. Nobody can engage quicker. CLG definitely could disengage. They could throw that wall of pain down as well as the acceleration gate. They could definitely disengage much quicker. And it looks like they want to engage here. Wicked really wanted to push that one.
We talk with CLG EU, and everyone on that team wants to disengage except for Wicked. He's always the one just getting antsy and ready to go. He has his buttons on his initiation skills. If he's Malphite, it's on Unstoppable Force. If it's Aurelia, it's on Blade Surge. Constantly, he just wants to go. It's about the team talking him out of it. You could really see he was ready to go there. And now WE, just so much poke back and forth, and we have seen this countless times before. This is where WE lost the games at LA Live. This is where CLG EU is at their most comfort, and they see Wicked in the bottom lane just farming out. He's out of mana. He has to go back to base and run all the way back. But WE isn't even capitalizing on this. They're not pushing the tower. They're not forcing Baron. They're really just kind of lulled a bit. They don't really know what to do. And this is the struggle that they had at LA Live. They have to make something happen in these situations, and it's going to be tricky. Yeah,
it's like usual. Like we said, 20 minutes gone into the game. They get to that situation. CLG just know how to play the late game. This is their field of expertise, if you will. Team WE going to try and push on towards this bottom turret. Are CLG going to try and collapse around the backside? They can see that Clearlove's there, and they might catch Clearlove out. Instead, Team WE want to engage this one. Messiah's taken very low. Froggen's going to get dropped in this one, but they're all stood in there. And no, Froggen still has not gone down. There's the ultimate. Now he's going to get dropped. Messiah's going to go down off the back of that. You can see Wei Zhao's also down. Olaf's down. CLG picking up multiple kills off the back of that. You can see Messiah also going to get dropped in there. Wicked dive straight in. They can take the Baron off the back of this one. Snoopy is still alive, but more importantly, Yellow Pete and Wicked are there to tank it out.
That fight was so forced by WE. They initiated through a wall of pain, which made everything lackluster. They're now forcing down this Baron, and this is CLG EU's experience coming in. They know how to team fight. WE has the individual skill because they win the early game and they win the laning, but they just can't seem to get the fights, and CLG EU is masterful. This Baron is tricky for them. They're doing a very good job tanking back and forth. Closest target always getting hit, and there they get the Baron. They've won the team fight. This is mid to late game. How does WE come back for this? Because all of the early game, everything they've tried to create was just lost in that last team fight.
They've also pinged the blue. The Froggen wants to get there quickly. Nunu had spawned just in time. Not that that's a massive thing, but Crepo is another man with the Baron on. So, 4-man Baron for CLG. 13-12 into this game. Gold advantage for the first time with the CLG, and we're going to check out the replay with the audio from the players.
Stay out. Really fucking good job, guys. Stay out. Really fucking awesome job. Okay, let's see. 20 seconds for me.
20 seconds, and they were happy with that. I think you can safely say. It was a pretty awesome job, I believe is the words that Wicked came out with, and definitely an advantage for CLG EU. Dragon is being taken away by Team WE, though, just above. We're following Snoopy right now, and we can see Team WE are picking up the Dragon. As it is, there we go, and that's definitely going to make the gold very even, just 800 gold between them. CLG EU all back in, all want to buy. They've cleared out all the objectives they needed to, and the builds start to come out here.
And this is the struggle now for WE because they've tried the forcing, and it's been repelled. You can see they did finally get the Shurelia's Reverie to start fights, but that's not really going to help them because they've been taken to a point where they lose the team fights. They were just shown very clearly that they can't take CLG EU heads up, and that's before they got the Baron buff, that's before they got all that gold. The Infinity had finally been finished by Yellow Pete. The Zeke's Herald coming out onto Crepo. Last Whisper onto Wicked for increased poke. CLG has been known to just stall up this advantage and wait until the one next team fight they win ends the game. But I think they have a big enough edge here and enough poke they can actually take some of these turrets out. And W is going to be forced to go in on them because in the previous sets, when WE has not acted, when they're behind like this, they know they don't come back because they know CLG doesn't make the mistakes. Whether they try to bleed them out here or whether WE tries a last-ditch effort much earlier than previously will really decide if this is another 60-minute game or not.
Either way, but I think we can all agree that these are very tight teams. They are very close in terms of skill. Team WE definitely have the stronger lane phase. They were 9-1 up even in the game they lost. They seem to outplay CLG in that laning phase, but CLG, you again, we see flooring back into this one. Looks like CLG may take the turret down. Yes, they will. Wicked, of course, alongside Yellow Pete. They have that double AD damage on that turret. They can shred it down very, very quickly. I think that's the first time as Shurelia's Reverie was just used there by Team WE. They really wanted to escape that, but this is the first time I think we've seen Shurelia's on Team WE. Normally, he just doesn't even have a chance to save for that. putting it all on wards. This time he's gone for that item.
And they have double Shirley's Reverie as well. Clearlove picking it up, so they are looking to maybe initiate in the right situations, but with the Baron buff and with all the poke coming up from CLG EU here, it's going to be tough for them to hold off that turret. You can see Yellow Pete, only a couple hits on the turret, but CLG is patient. They will get those 2 hits 50 times, and eventually they'll take the turret down. And they don't actually seem to be pushing off to the top or the bottom. You can see a huge stack up on the top lane. That may take the turret by itself. And the pressure just staying there. They have flash up in a few seconds on Snoopy. If they want to start a fight, it would very well be that flash impale onto someone from Skarner. But knowing CLG, they're probably just going to play it safe and poke.
Wei Zhao would almost certainly, Wei Zhao, sorry, get his name right, eventually. You can see they're definitely getting a little bit of poke on there. Yellow Pete is hitting that damn turret. He's slowly but surely working it down. Wicked there, he quite happy to eat the sapling. At top range, the wave has been taken down. 212 CS to 147, that top lane definitely gone in favor of Wicked as we've moved later into that game. I say lane, it's not so much a lane now, but you saw the damage, the shred on towards Sao Mei there. Sao Mei realizes they've got to fight something here. That turret is being shredded by Yellow Pete and Wicked here. They're doing a heck of a lot of damage, and they've already taken it down to below half.
But here we go, the Baron for CLG EU is out. They know they have a lot of gold to go farm with. They're going to take the blue buff, and there's also the outer turret. They don't need to get the inhibitor turret on the mid there. They got 2/3 of the health. They're going to play it safe like they always do. They want to take the dragon when it comes up. They're going to try to get as many turrets out as possible. They win the team fights. They prove that. They can't dive through Frog, and they can't get through Krepo. They do not have dive to get through Yellow Pete. They just don't have the damage or the team fight capabilities unless they find some sort of a perfect fight. And that's why CLG takes it so slow. They have the Frozen Heart now onto Snoopy. They're really just waiting until WE tries to force something. They might get this turret, but even that is too tough for them because look at the damage that comes out from Froggen just with the DFG and a couple hits.
Yellow Pete also in there, shredding down his health. And we talked about, the fact that he gets that Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, he can really rip apart Sao Mei. Sao Mei has got that Randian's Omen, but honestly, it doesn't seem to be enough. Now that Yellow Pete has that Infedge. And you can see the waves, the top, the bottom, all starting to stack up here. CLG could rotate to whichever lane they want, but they feel they can take this middle inhibitor turret. Honestly, they could probably tank it up. Snoopy's going to go in, he's going to tank it. They're going to take the inhibitor turret. You can see Yellow Pete just taking it down. Wicked comes in. That is the first inhibitor turret down. That is a huge advantage for CLG.
They realized they'd harassed Xiao Mei down enough from the outside of the base and could just go up. The Olaf was not a threat. They were very confident in their ability to take down that turret, and it is the double AD that helps them with this. They're slow pushing it here. At some point, WE is either going to have to force a fight that they'll have a low chance of winning, or they're just going to get bled out by CLG. In the past, they've been bled out by them. There will be a last-ditch effort at some point, but it's probably going to be after the next Baron. CLG's going to want to try to harass that down. There's a bunch of wards out that they will have to clear before that happens. There's a lot of time before we'll end up seeing that, but for now, the siege is on.
The siege is on. Are they going to go for the exposed inhibitor? Will they just try and force a fight there? You can see they're clearing out the waves. There's a big wave along that top, and no, Snoopy's going to go back, which means the rest of the team will back off and buy some more items, some big, fat, juicy items. And like you say, timing out that Baron. It is due in 49 seconds. They're going to be well aware of that more than we will. They're going to go and purchase some items. Let's see what they're going to pick up here, Jack.
So we actually see a Guardian Angel starting to come on Yellow Pete. He hasn't quite been able to finish that. Another Reverie completed, this time for Krepo, so if they do want to try to speed Snoopy up, he's going to be able to jump in and get that. The ore items have been out for a while. The Zeke's Herald, the Aegis of Legion, and the Frozen Heart all helping. It's just going to be so difficult for them to dive through and get onto Yellow Pete. Not sure what WE's action is here. They might have to try to steal a Baron. They might have to try to pick Snoopy while he's clearing wards in the jungle. Or they might just have to wait for some kind of tower dive. But we know in the past that CLG EU doesn't let that happen. They're all about counter initiation. They're all about bleeding their opponents out. And this safe style, once they have this kind of lead, we haven't seen a team actually disrupt them from it.
No one that seems to be able to drag the game, force the late matches in CLG EU. And honestly, their team fights is generally pretty damn good when they get to this stage. Oh, Snoopy's in there. He thought about hooking someone in, actually, and forced the flash from FZZF there. So we're not going to see any Leona flash engages. So that's immediately taking one weapon from their arsenal. Meanwhile, Sao Mei walking through that ward. The rest of CLG, they're going to try and bait this one out. Sao Mei may come around that corner. Yes, he is. They're going to catch on him. Sao Mei getting shredded there by Yellow Pete and forced away very low. Now they could try and force that Baron.
They're really going to try this, but there is the risk that Clear Love could flash into Smited. CLG might be worried about this. If anything, they're going to try to peel this immediately unless they see that he's going to flash in. They get the wards down. They might just rush this down. He's going to try to steal this. This is going to be close. Either way, they're just poking him back with so much damage. He can't even go in. They're going to get it.
They're going to get it, and you can see this just through Wade Zhao. Wade Zhao trying to push it off from range. Oh, they nearly got the steal, but the smite comes out from Snoopy there. And actually, off the back, you can see Clearlove went down to Froggen.
Froggen again with the clutch Karth Assault, taking out Clearlove. That's the jungler down. That's 5 men with Baron and the exposed inhibitor, and many low members of W. They're going to take this inhibitor, and if they get a team fight on the end of it, they will push through, but most likely they're going to take this, take the towers, and this is even more control. It doesn't look like WE can even get close to them right now.
CLG just going straight for that inhibitor. They didn't even bother with the creep wave. They didn't need it, and they are still going to disengage. They have a huge creep wave going in there. They realize they've got an advantage for 15 seconds spawn. They're going to pick up the dragon. They're going to pick up that huge creep wave at the bottom, playing it 100% safe throughout this game. CLG really brought themselves back into this one. Honestly, in the first 20 minutes, I thought WE had this.
It was like the first 20 minutes of all the games we've seen between WE and CLG, but what comes into play for CLG EU is their team play, their teamwork, their motto, just their emotion. They control everything. WE now trying to just get something here after giving up Baron. They took out a mid-turret, but they're going to have to back up right away. And this is actually early for CLG. We're only at 38 minutes, considering the control, considering the fact that they have the inhibitor right now. Next lane for them is bottom. There's an outer turret there. They're going to try to roll through both of those and take it out. And even the tanks for them, Chow Mei, he gets shredded in a couple seconds. There's no way he can run through all of CLG right now to get to Yellow Pete. There has to be a fairly large error here from CLG EU if they take this game away. They're all sticking together. They have outer turrets up. The risk of backdoor is fairly low. WE actually all grouping up in a triangle brush. They're going to try to get some kind of surprise initiation because this would be their last-ditch effort. They're either going to do this or try to backdoor mid. Either way, this is their move. This is what they're trying to create. This is going to be interesting.
Here they go. See them making that move around the side. Are they going to get spotted by that Cogmore ultimate? Oh, the sapling would have got spotted there, surely by Snoopy. They realize it, they pinged it. They're going to try and engage them on their CLG. Let's try and gather in this bush. We want to go for Sinner. WE cannot. They're going to have to back away. That's not the move they wanted. And again, just caught between two minds.
They didn't want to engage a 4-5-5, but they got caught by a Karthus wall.
And Messiah getting hooked in there. They tried to go for it. Salme trying desperately to close in. Clearlove now on the back of this one. They're trying to get in there, but FCZF getting melted. Messiah's going to get dropped there by Yellow Pete. They do take Yellow Pete down. Karthus actually dropped. Sorry, Yellow Pete's still alive. And there goes the Karthus ultimate. And that's going to surely be the end of the game. But you can see the double coming out. Froggen picks it up. Wei Zhao, the one surviving member, has to back away. They have enough to finish this game. They're going to have Super Minion Wave coming up the mid lane. Yellow Pete's just quite happily to tank this one. He's got a creep wave coming up. He's just going to zone out, zone back in, and surely this is the game.
If Wei Zhao would have been finished by Wicked, I'd say this is the end of the game for sure, but with this, he might be able to defend so hard. 2 Guardian Angels here for CLG. Only 15 seconds left on the death timer for Clearlove and FCZF. Instead, CLG EU is going to try to take the circle of inhibitors here. If they can get the third down, even if they just take the turret out here, they know they have the game in complete control. None of their Guardian Angels even got popped in that fight. They are sitting so pretty right now. There's no reason for them to force it through, and that damage from Yellow Pete is the reason they're so close here. They couldn't even touch him when they tried to dive through, and that was a hard dive through that they did in that last fight. Total control right now by CLG EU.
Yeah, I incorrectly called it. I thought they dived on towards Yellow Pete. It was Froggen, then they managed to catch out. So they got one of the big carries down. But Yellow Pete now so prepared, so shredded. He's just doing so much damage to them on the back. And Wicked as well is also laying down a lot of damage. He's got that Bloodthirster, got that last Whisper and Brutalizer in there. He is doing a lot of the damage as well.
This is the triple threat that a lot of teams bring with the Kog'Maw. If you bring Cog, you make sure to bring high damage in your top lane, high damage in your mid lane, and then just support tankiness from your support and jungler. Because you just try to split the other team up. You make it so they can't do everything they want. Nothing does really more late game damage from a caster perspective than a Froggen sitting in your team with his Defile on. Nothing does more from an AD carry perspective than a blood-boiled Kog'Maw. On top of that, you have a Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, Brutalizer coming out from Jace, so there's just way too much threat coming around from CLG EU, and WE just doesn't have the resources to take it on. How are they going to hold off this last inhibitor? There's 2 waves of super creeps that are going to be pushing in. CLG doesn't have the Baron buff, but I don't think they care. They're going to go in, take down that third inhibitor. if they don't win the game off of this, they might win it off the next Baron. They do take it slow, so we can't call it yet.
Well, they're waiting for Crepper to get up there. Of course, that Blood Boil, a massive part of it for Yellow Pete. As soon as he does get in there, they put the ward down. That's going to get cleared straight out. In dodge the axe out. Sorry, getting launching damage towards Team WE. See CZF eating the brunt of that. Robin's just hanging off in the background. He knows they're going to likely to engage on him. And still, CLG very patient here, despite the fact they've just clearly won a big team fight. 9-4 up in turrets, 18-4 in kills. Massive gold advantage of 8K currently. 42 minutes gone into this game. Could be the fastest game we've seen CLG possibly win here in the Team WE quarterfinals. The game that never ended, but could well be over shortly. Team WE started off so well. There it is. That's going to be the Vladimir ultimate. They're going on towards Wicked, but Messiah already is damaged done. Snoopy is going to get dropped on the back. You can see Wicked diving in there. It's actually a good fight for Team WE here. Could they get the damage down? Salme tried desperately to get in there, but Yellow Pete again off the side, shredding them down. Guardian Angel popped by Messiah. He's going to spawn. They're trying to take Yellow Pete down. They will. They're going to get him down. FCZF drops off the back of the Frog and ultimate, and there is Yellow Pete. Come back from the Guardian Angel, of course, and CLG come out 4-on-1. Surely the game is now over. Chat, it is going to finally end.
The game is over. CLG moves on. They will face Azubu Frost in the next semifinal. Look at them right now. They just look relieved, happy, waving out to the crowd of online viewers. They won that game playing their style. They were more aggressive than they were over at LA Live. That bodes well for them. They just kept it up. The late game team comps, they got the Karthus. Falling back on a Kog'Maw was a great move for Yellow Pete because he had more of an impact than Wei Zhao in that game for really the first time in this series. GG, congrats to CLG EU.
Really well played. You know, the pressure must have been so intense on them because that lane phase, they were definitely falling behind. There's no doubt about it. But they managed to just hold themselves together. That big play down the bottom by Wicked drew them out and absolutely fantastically just got them back into the game.
It was the turnarounds on the tower dives, often just triggered by Froggen's Karthus ultimate. That was a close one in all seriousness because WE was on the brink of turning that for so long. But then really, once they had that one super force team fight through the wall of pain, you knew CLG EU had taken control. It's all those races against time you see them play so much. After a certain point, you know they've taken control, and it's just Snoopy staring into their souls after then. They move on. They're confident. They're good to go.
He's had time to perfect that, I believe, and he's definitely worked his way into it. So, what a fantastic match.